Good afternoon, and welcome to MLTV Mainline Network's Commissioner's Corner. I'm Haley Erdlen, a proud Radnor Township resident of Ward 4. Mainline Network has recruited residents like myself, living in each of Radnor Township's 7 wards, to carry on important conversations with township decision makers who are voted into the position of managing our township. I am really excited to be here on this hot and humid Friday afternoon to interview and discuss what's happening not only in Ward 4, but also around the township with Ward 4's Commissioner Lisa Borowski. Thanks, Lisa, for joining me.
Hi, Haley. How are you?
I'm well. I'm good.
Very good. You've got like a nice background behind you.
I know. Well, I have San Francisco up because I was supposed to actually go to Napa and the wine country last weekend for work for like a qualifying trip with Scout and Cellar, and it was obviously canceled, and we went virtual instead. It was still great, but I'm kind of, this is my pity party.
Yeah, your homage.
Because I would really love to be in California right now.
Right. Next year.
Yeah, but then I have to work really hard a whole nother year. But now we're here and it's Friday. Thank you. I know you are enjoying some time at the beach, but I'm glad you could take some of your afternoon here with us to discuss lots of things happening in Radnor, even amongst still, COVID-19. And I think people are still being careful and social distancing. And I know we are still doing a lot of takeout and whatnot, but it's humid and I think it's supposed to rain again. So I thought it's a good segue to go into our first topic, which is all the rain that the township has received this summer, but most specifically our latest sort of storm that happened last Tuesday. And how not only was our ward affected, but the township and what the township is doing to maybe kind of solve some issues. There were a lot of downed trees, a lot of people out with power, water in basements. So, yeah.
Yeah, that tropical storm certainly did a number on us. And it was funny, when I was doing my newsletter, the last one I had done, so we only have 2 meetings in July and August for the Board of Commissioners. I usually send my newsletter, right before our meetings. Mm-hmm. So right before the last meeting, I was writing about a tropical storm that had come through and dumped 4 inches of rain on us. And then as I was writing this one, I was writing about a tropical storm that came through and dumped, I think, the last I heard is we got anywhere between 7 and 9 inches in about 10 hours, which is an insane, incredible amount of rain. And, I've learned a lot in this role. And one of the things I've learned is, from Steve Norsini, who is our township engineer, in a rainstorm like that, there is no infrastructure that we could build that would be able to handle it.
Yeah, to sustain that amount of rain. Absolutely. I mean, people who have never gotten water in their basements that have waterproof basements with sub pumps. Yeah, French drains. Yeah. I know, same. Got water. And that was an insane storm. There were also a lot of downed trees. I was actually out driving in it around 12:30, and I felt that the township was really great at responding very quickly to where there were downed trees and down power lines and getting up barricades. And then I know there was a whole cleanup. But as far as the stormwater, I know stormwater is always kind of an ongoing, I don't want to say issue, but it's an ongoing topic of conversation, I think, especially in Radnor. Was there any areas hit harder because of stormwater or?
So, depending on the amount of rain we get and in in a certain period, there are areas that tend to flood quicker than others. So certainly, North Wayne tends to flood. There's that area right in front of the township the school administration building by the middle school.
Yeah, and the middle school got water, right? Didn't they?
Yeah. Middle school got water. That whole area was inundated, but that area tends to flood quickly. Like I've been over there when there's been a thunderstorm and I've had to roll up my pants, take off my shoes, and go and move my car out of the intersection because I was afraid to get flooded. So that area tends to flood pretty quickly. over in, where we are, the Darby Creek overflowed. There were water rescues at Goshen and Darby Paoli Road on Bryn Mawr Avenue. So because of the Darby Creek being inundated as well. And, people along the creek, again, they got a lot of water damage. A lot of the tributaries. So we have some homes in the Beaupre area of the township who have experienced significant, there's actually a failure of a project that the township, a stormwater project in Creek that the township had done about 20 years ago, completely failed. Those big gabion walls, so those big rock walls, like the mesh and the rock that's inside of them, completely washed away. Wow. And you could see the foundation, it eroded so quickly, the foundation of this home. Wow. So, definitely I'm going to say that there were many, many areas of the township that were inundated, a lot of trees down, as you did say. I think the high winds certainly, don't help anything once there's that much rain. So, what we're doing so this past Monday, when we had our August meeting, we started to talk about ways to fund stormwater projects. We need to stop talking about this and actually do something. Right. So we voted on securing bond counsel and other advisors to assist us with the idea of going out for a bond for stormwater projects. The tough part will be deciding how we prioritize and figure out we're not going to be able to fund everything. I think that they showed us, so we're talking about projects that are already engineered. I think the amount was close to $16 million worth of projects. We're not going to be able to fund all of that with a bond. So how do we prioritize? And that's kind of where we need to move forward, I think, quickly. In my, from my perspective, and I certainly don't speak for all the commissioners, this is just my perspective. We need to look township wide, and we need to look at, areas where I think home, life, and property are in immediate danger. Sure. And for me, there are some certain areas that stand out. Certainly North Wayne, certainly that South Wayne intersection, and then after that, I think there's projects that can be shifted. The area that was so badly damaged by the creek and the house where the foundation is coming through, we're going to be looking at that as an emergency project. There's a conversation about that on Monday night. There was not resolution with regards to, there was resolution on an emergency temporary work. Not resolution on an emergency project to move forward. We are having a special meeting next Monday to talk about that, because this is really, it is not only a matter of the individual home, but it's also a matter of the township infrastructure. There's a road right there, Robin Hood Road right there. Other homes, surrounding that area, and then certainly the downstream impacts as well, which are homes in Radnor. So we need to look at that, and that's something we'll be doing on Monday night. So we are moving forward. My hope is the conversation will continue to move forward, and that as a Board of Commissioners, we can agree that doing stormwater projects in various areas of the township is good for the township overall. Sure, absolutely. That's great. And we'll just hope that maybe the storms are going to stop soon. I hope. Yeah, I hope so. It's a very wet summer, which is great for the trees and the flowers and the plants and everything. But it's been hard on Radnor residents, so we're getting there. But grateful for the police department, did a great job, and hopefully you guys will get some little projects accomplished. So you just had your board meeting, and something else that you touched on at the board meeting was the changes to noise ordinance in relations to homeowners. Can you elaborate on that a bit? Yeah, so I had initiated this conversation. We have a noise ordinance that apparently over the years they have tried to rewrite and redo, and it's definitely a cumbersome task. And I have had some residents who have had long-term construction projects right next to their home, either tear downs and rebuilds or brand new, complain about the noise, the amount of time. So right now our noise ordinance, when it comes to construction, there can be, it's funky the way it's written, but there can be no noise from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Right.
So that means, in the reverse, that construction noise can be happening from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Saturday, which is a long time. That's,
7 a.m. is, and I have kids, small kids, but I feel that it's early. I do. But.
And we have some areas of the township where we're going to be getting some new developments, areas where, that are in highly residential areas. So on South Ithan, where the old mansion was that burned down, there's going to be, there's a group that wants to come in and put some new homes in there. That's still kind of ongoing, but eventually, as much as we would like that to become a property where there's just another mansion built there, that's probably not going to happen.
Probably not going to happen. Yeah, I know that the township, you guys worked hard to clean it up and knock it down, and then there was a for sale sign for a while. So,
so we anticipate a project going in there, which will mean the construction of, homes of some number in that, close, already, well-established neighborhood. So, and there are some other areas of the township over by Eastern University and over on the Hamilton property, further down by the where things are kind of planned or not planned, but in process. So those are, going to be construction projects. What they end up being, it still remains to be seen, but eventually something will happen. So that's construction in well-established neighborhoods. So my idea was to push the time back to 8 a.m. And end it at 7.
Okay.
So, the noise ordinance, you forget that it doesn't just apply to, construction sites. It also applies to neighbors. It also applies to people's livelihoods. It applies to, union contractors and things like that want to start, that start at 7 and like to end, like 3 or whatever, or 3 or 4 or whatever. Actually, all, a lot of construction. So the 8 a.m. start time was probably a little too late. I heard from a lot of people. And so we amended it and pushed it back to 7. So 7 a.m. again, and ending at 7 p.m.
Okay.
So to try to give some relief. It will probably get amended again. What came forward to us was also that there could be construction on Sundays from 10 to 5 and holidays from 10 to 5. My thought is that might be excessive, so we'll probably amend it again. But that is kind of moving through the Board of Commissioners, and I think we had a good, robust conversation about that. Commissioner Booker brought up some, good points around landscaping, and do we need to put something in there for them as well? So I think it's an evolution, but like if we can deal with like the different pieces of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I guess my question is, if someone's having a party outside in their backyard, not that we're having a lot of parties right now, but if they were, if it's past 7 p.m., are they going to get a noise violation if a neighbor complains about the noise? Because I think that's a little different than, a construction person, working at past 7 p.m.
So this amendment was specifically geared to construction noise. There are other pieces of the ordinance that would deal with something like that. And I think the other thing, what normally happens is people call 911, they call the police, barking dog, partying too late, that kind of thing. And I think that our police are very, even-handed in kind of addressing those issues with the individuals when that happens.
Yeah, on a case-by-case basis. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think, probably those components of the ordinance seem to be working. But certainly, again, like I said, like it trying to do an overall overhaul apparently has tried to be done before, and that just never goes anywhere. So maybe like if we discuss
breaking it up. Sure.
pieces, yeah.
Sure.
So
Yeah, well, I mean, thank you for bringing that to the table. I personally are in your corner for it as a resident, and I don't think they should do work on holidays. We no, you should let people observe their holidays in peace. I think so. Um, so we'll just move right along. Going past the noise ordinance, let's just quickly talk about what's happening with the tree planting, the shade trees. I know there were some things that were supposed to be planned in the spring and were obviously put on hold because of COVID. What's happening there?
So yeah, they were the spring planting that they normally the shade tree commission normally handles and does was pushed back. So what they've been doing is working even harder around the fall planting, and I can't commend our shade tree enough. They are such a dedicated group of individuals who, first of all, they really know trees and they really know and understand the ordinance. And they work really hard with residents and the township and our businesses to enact the ordinance and make sure that we're preserving our trees, and our tree canopy, replenishing it. And it's not an easy task. Radnor, we are a tree city. That's like our
tree city. Yeah. And that's something I love about our township.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. But then on days when you get like storms and trees are falling, then people are like, the trees. So they have been working, I know, very closely with the Wayne Business Association. So last fall, we planted a whole bunch of trees in the Wayne District in downtown Wayne to enhance the area down there. There are additional plantings planned for that. Great. There are areas in the township where there are trees that are, in really bad shape, and they're on township-owned properties. So the thought is to remove those trees because they are a hazard, and then plant new trees. So there's a couple areas like that identified, and we'll be clearly communicating with the residents what those areas are, so that people don't see something like they saw over on Lancaster with the clear cutting there on 476.
I feel like that's a whole nother commissioner's corner just by itself.
So that is in process though, but that's in process. There is like a plan for that. And
okay, good.
Yes, yeah, it's in process. The work has been done there, but I think a lot of the rain has prevented, some of the seeding that we wanted to do that, we've got all that donated. It's all donated work from, the contractor. The landscape art is escaping me right now, but it's all donated work, and we're really fortunate.
Amazing. Is he a Radnor, like a local Radnor landscaper, or?
He is. He grew up in Radnor, and his name, I feel bad. His name is escaping me in this moment, but he came forward to donate the services and the materials. Then we had somebody donate there's going to be a whole bunch of wildflowers planted there. Somebody donated all the wildflower seeds for that. And all that work is progressing, but a lot of it, the seeding is going to happen in the fall.
Well, and I happened to actually drive by it during the tropical storm last week, and was curious to see if anything was coming down. And actually it wasn't. It seemed to be okay and intact. So
yeah, they're putting down matting. They spread a lot of the wood chips that were there from the work that have been done. So it is definitely in progress. I know it's not moving as quickly as people would like, but I think it's not to do the work that would either not germinate or just wash away or be destroyed. So I think a lot, there is the plan. It's still moving forward, and a lot of the work will be done in the fall.
Oh, great. Awesome. Thank you. And last, I just want to go with a recent post you did in early August. I love this. Eat, drink, and shop local. The township and the Radnor Board of Commissioners, thank you, eased the zoning laws to allow concerts that are happening at 118 North to support these businesses. Thank you for doing that. I have yet to experience a 118 North Tailgate Takeout Series, but I do want to go to one before they end, or if they're going to continue as long as they can while the weather is still nice. But Yeah, thanks for doing that.
Yeah, and then we've got the tent over there that
Yeah, the
people.
tent's awesome.
So, I can't commend our businesses enough for their, you know, like what a tough time, but they have worked to, I don't want to say reinvent themselves, but they kind of have, and have, gone to, some very creative lengths
Mhm.
to, they believe in Wayne, they believe in Radnor, they believe in the township and the businesses, and that's an important place to be. And, I think we all need to go out and support them and in their efforts. It's been incredible. We do need people to make sure they're wearing their masks when they go. I know, I've heard some, there are people that are concerned that people are going and
Not
socializing and
wearing
not social
masks, right.
distancing. But
Right.
so we need to just be mindful of that, continue to be mindful. But yeah, it's been great. And I think that then the Tailgate Series, I've seen them, they broadcast them on Facebook. They do Facebook
Mhm.
Live. So you
Oh,
can.
cool. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I was just down there on a Thursday. It was like 6 o'clock, and it was packed. It was
Mhm.
great. And I've had friends who just, pull their cars up right there and open up the backs, and their kids can sit and eat. Or, with the tent, I think it's great because you can kind of go to different places. Maybe you want to go to Christopher's and your husband wants to go to Teresa's. And I think it's great. And I've seen, I mean, I've actually been really impressed with the mask wearing in the township. I know, when Governor Wolf announced, even being outside, as long, under certain restrictions, you need to wear a mask. But it's our way to flatten the curve, right?
Yeah, I guess I look at it, so I work in healthcare. I'm not in direct patient care, but I see on a daily basis that the information coming out to our healthcare professionals
Hmm.
and anyone who works in the, acute care setting. It's just like it just makes sense. It makes sense, and it's protecting. Like, I don't see it as protecting me so much as protecting other people.
Hmm.
And I have, so my boys are almost 21 and 23 in a couple weeks, which is scary. And they're kind of doing their thing. And like, I'm so proud. My younger son has a job where he is out, outdoors for work, and he is always wearing his mask. And he's like, "Mom, and I given them a bunch of masks, and he's like, "Mom, the paper ones are better for outside." It's
Yep.
like, so the fact that the young people will do that. We definitely need for students returning. And we've already heard some concerns around Villanova students and things. We just need everybody to care about everybody else.
Right. Right.
Um,
Well,
it's not about.
Villanova, we live, we're basically in their backyard. And I did drive by a few days ago, and I did, every Villanova student for them that I saw outside was wearing a mask. I'd heard that they also took a mask pledge as a student body. So hopefully they will hold to that. And then how do you feel about, like, just about the walking the Radnor Trail wearing a mask? What is your thought on that? If you're able to be 6 feet apart, what do you
So
suggest?
I did that. I don't know if you saw my Facebook page. I did a
I did
video.
see it. I did, but I thought I'd let you I read all your Facebook posts, every single one, just in case,
Okay.
just so you know.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So I did go up there, and, I haven't been going up on the trail, and I love the trail, but I haven't been going up there because it is tight. There are areas where it's tight.
Yeah.
And if people are walking a couple people across, social distancing,
Mhm.
So I went, I wore my mask. It was kind of a hot, humid day. I would not say it was packed with people.
Mhm.
But anytime I saw someone, I pulled my mask up, or, you can see people approaching you, just pull your
Right.
mask up.
Right.
And then once there was nobody within my vision, I took it down and I was
Sure.
fine.
Sure.
So, um, yeah, I just really see it as being, considerate of others. And,
Right. Right.
um,
Well, and the township does have, they put up the signs there that recommend wearing a mask. And I think they've got them at, like, certain points of the trail when you get on one side, you in the middle and the other. And, I think as long as they're saying we're recommending it, and, And I think it's what you're comfortable with. Like you said, when you're approaching people, you pull your mask up. And then if you feel like you're okay, take it down. It's hard sometimes when you're running and jogging. A lot of people like to wear the gaiters, but now it's come out about the gaiters not being as effective as a regular cloth mask. So there's just, I feel that it's changing all the time.
Yeah. Well, you think about it, like it's only been around, this coronavirus only been around for 6 months, 7 months. And you think about diseases like AIDS and things like that took, we're still every day discovering something new about, a disease process like that. So
right.
that things are going to change. It's inevitable. Things are going to change. They're going to just figure more things out. Like I said, I was on a call the other day, and our medical director was talking about the different therapies for people when they're in the hospital, and they're trying everything because they don't know what's going to work the best.
Sure.
And it even seems like some things work better on other people and don't work on others. So they're just trying everything to, save lives, and they're getting better at it, right? Sure. They're getting better at it. The death rates are going down, thankfully, but it doesn't sound like this is something anybody would want to get.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and one thing that I follow her, and you had posted about her too, is that I really like the statistics that Mainline Mama is posting. She kind of does regular updates, and she just recently specifically came out kind of with school districts and certain counties, and I think her maps and her research is phenomenal. So if you haven't heard of her, it's mainlinemama.com, and she does visualizations, and there just has great information for Delco and Chester and Montgomery. So check her out. You would posted her on your commissioner
I did
on Facebook as well. But anyhow, yes. So thanks, Lisa, for taking the time to keep your ward residents like myself up to date on what's happening, especially in these, as we said, evolving times during COVID-19. Until next time, hopefully we'll be back in the fall. I'm Haley Erdlen with Commissioner's Corner, representing Ward 4. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope you'll join us next time. Thanks.
Thanks.